What up, though, everybody? We back again. It's the Pop Culture 223 podcast. We back with the Bear. We got another guest on today. It's been a minute, man. The Bear kicked me out the studio. He was like, man, I need a break. So we back at it, man. And I kind of miss the podcast studio, man. I couldn't wait to get back out here, man. And I'm glad we got this dope guest with us today, too.
Yeah, I kind of miss it a little, too. Oh, yeah, since we couldn't make it here, and there's a good reason for it. Happy belated Mother's Day to all the ladies. That's why we,
give them some shots. Give them some shots.
So we had to get a Ladies' Day. So, we couldn't be in here on a Sunday to work, take care of them families.
Yeah. Happy belated Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to let her introduce herself, her background, and just go ahead. So our guest today is...
Hi, I'm Tanisha Moner. I'm a NRA certified firearms instructor. I teach Michigan CPL classes. I do 2A Second Amendment work, the work.
The work.
There we go.
That's the word I like, the work.
I'm an absolute advocate for firearms, gun rights, women in the movement.
There we go.
So how long you been an NRA certified instructor?
9 years now.
9 years now?
9 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So check this out. I got a question.
You an OG, man. I only got like 6 or 7 around.
I don't even know.
You went OG, triple OG.
It all happened by accident. I'll tell you that in a minute.
I've probably been an NRA certified instructor, probably the same amount, but I probably only 2-3 years of this. And that might be accumulated. Like I probably can count on my hand how many students I had. It was all great in the beginning. I was just like, man, I ain't got the time. It's just life, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But look, got a question for y'all.
Sure.
What's popping in the culture, right? Just answer this question. Father or friends? John Morant.
Ooh, it's got to be one or the other?
It got to be one or the other.
Father.
What would you say?
Probably father.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say father, too, because I'm just like, Pops wouldn't have let me. First of all, you $260 million. You got the bag.
You got the bag.
How?
And more coming.
More coming. Yes.
You're carrying the whole family, the family sacrifice to get you where you are.
Right.
I guess I was just like, it's just showing the homies in the hood, like you can act ignorant and get away with it if they want to use you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? If they want you to be what you, like anybody else would have did that on the team, whatever, they'd have been out of there. They'd have been looking for a job.
You'd have been done.
They'd have been done. But I'm just like, how the friends going to record it? Like, are y'all toxic to him too? Like, are y'all setting him up?
See, and that's why I asked, do we got to choose? Because my response typically would have been both. But on the choice, Pops.
Listen, man, I had pops, I had uncles, and they all like my fathers. They would have got their homies together, and they would have look, hey, bro, he can't be with y'all.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like they, this ain't what it is. And I just
big bros. I told you that one story. Like I said, the big bros, everybody, to tell you, hey, that ain't it, cuz that ain't.
Yeah, it was just something I thought about. I didn't want to talk about it. I know Dre was talking about it one time.
Yeah.
Back in the day when he first did the incident, but then the second one came up. And I'm like, man, what is this, father or friends? Like, is dad really like saying like he like to be on the sideline, be geeked up? I don't see no other parents on the side. Well, some, but back in, you don't see like parents not like that getting in fights and arguing and all that. Now, I probably had to take my wife and say, look, go sit in the skybox because she going to be on that flow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
She going to be like Brian's mama was. You touched my baby. And I'm running down.
You know what I'm saying? But man, I just was like, man, it had to be, is it father or friends? Like, father got to make, like, look, bro, no.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the basics.
You got to stop trying to be his home. And I ain't telling nobody how to parent, especially with no grown man and grown children, but you got to stop trying to be your son's friend, so to speak.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Situation.
I'm fully grown, and my daddy will still get me together.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying.
But I'm just saying to tell somebody else how to raise their own.
Sometimes, your baby is always your baby.
All day.
No matter how old they are.
All day.
And when your kids are stepping outside of to their own detriment. Yeah, sometimes the parents still got to step in and let them know, hey, I'm still a parent, and this is what it is.
Hey, Mom, she might have to tell me twice, but that second time it's going to be...
Is the shoe going to be in the corner? No.
She look at you like, she's like, I didn't told you. All right, I got you. All right. I don't want my kids get slapped in front of my kids.
Right.
And be like, dang. But another thing we also do on here, like, what was your first firearm you ever bought?
Easy. It's a Glock 19 4th gen. Yes. And guess what?
What?
To this day, it's still my favorite.
Hey,
Yeah,
man.
that's a fave. That's for sure.
Hey, you know,
It is still my
so we
favorite.
probably had maybe about 4 or 5 people been up here, and I got different answers. It was always a Glock
Because they're smart.
or a High Point.
Oh, yeah, those people. Yeah, we can't talk about those people. Like, just pray for them.
Shh.
We just have to pray for them, you know? Plus, they hurts, you know?
So look, let's get into it. So look, I gave you something today. I want you to check it out.
Yes.
I see you got your Erica's Big Day pin
I
on.
do.
Kudos to you
Proud
for
of
that.
you.
I was at a function a week ago.
Mhm.
It's called Walk the Talk. Walk the Talk America or Walk the Talk Us.
Right.
It was guns, mental health, right? So the
Yes.
guy Devin from Trenchworth Chronicles, he was speaking at an event, and he invited me out to sit at the table, and with Erica's Big Day. So shout outs to them, man, for allowing me to come out and be a part of that event. This band, you can go on the website and actually take a mental health test for free. And if you got any issues or something, you can call in or do it. And everything's anonymous. They don't put your name out there, whatever.
Okay.
But I thought it was dope. And so it's like the bridge between guns and mental health, because
which is a hot button topic, man, that a lot of people
Yeah.
do not want to talk about. This is my personal opinion, and I don't care who do or don't like this personal opinion, but flat out, it's more so. It's more so about mental health right now than I think it is the quote unquote, uh, gun restriction. I'm not gonna say gun safety because you always want to, be safe with your guns, but the gun restriction, and I think that's literally just the age old, people in the government want to try to ban guns and blah blah blah. But I think it's actually more so to the mental health state of a lot of people in this country. I mean, you got to think of one, the mental health issues already, and then two, we basically literally as of a month ago or a couple weeks ago, they just recently gave the okay or the all clear, so to speak, on the quote unquote, for the pandemic.
right.
So look at the mental stress and the effect that's put on everybody for that alone, and the lasting effects. So on top of already being, dealt with the mental health issues, and then you got this too. So you're gonna have people that didn't, now they do, and they anxiety, depression, and everything else. Let's focus on that. Saying instead of just saying, "Oh my God, we got to get rid of all the guns, and we got to make 150 different million, gun-free zones, and so forth, so forth, so forth." So now law-abiding citizens don't feel comfortable going somewhere because the bad guys and the criminals, they don't give a damn. We all know they don't give a damn. So
Yeah.
I got a different
just my 2 cents.
I got a different perspective on that.
Okay,
Well, maybe not different, but more insight.
talk to me.
Maybe. I've worked in 2 different industries
Mhm.
that deal with a lot of mental health issues, right?
Mhm.
So I worked in guardianship and conservatorship.
Okay,
So I actually used to be the person who handled care for people who were
Mhm.
mentally incapacitated,
Okay.
right? And you ain't got to be
Okay.
severely incapacitated
right.
to be mentally incapacitated, right? Now I work in a law enforcement agency, right?
Right.
And so I see what comes through there.
Mm-hmm.
About 75% of the things that come through my particular jurisdiction
Mhm.
have some mental health nexus at the center of
Mhm.
them. It could be anything from my daughter's not taking her meds and
Mm-hmm.
what have you, and she's going off to, hey, my daddy got a gun and he's shooting everybody,
Right.
or a real situation that happened about a week and a half ago
Mhm.
on the east side, won't say the street, and it was a really sad and unfortunate situation.
Mm-hmm.
Guy and his wife had some words, some sort of disagreement. He walked out into the middle of the street and blew his own brains out with his 5 kids in the house, ranging in ages from 1 to 11. So when we look at these kind of things and we talk about mental health, are we talking about just a person who has mild anxiety,
Right.
or are we talking about,
Somebody that has, levels further.
exactly? And then the real issue is it still carries such a stigma where people who may
Right.
not feel so great aren't comfortable with reaching out,
Yep.
saying, hey, I need some help.
I agree.
But then once you get those people who reach out and say, hey, I need some help, the resources aren't exactly the easiest to come by. They really aren't. In the state of Michigan, we got 2, for lack of a better term right now, we got 2 lockdown facilities in the whole state.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ruther has about 150 beds. They got like a 3-year wait list. The cost for staying in Ruther per month is close to $30,000 just to put a person in a bed, you know?
And that's because Engler opened up, closed down all the other ones so long ago.
This is true. So it's like, what do we do about that? Until we start allocating resources and actually getting that work done, we're going to forever deal with this.
Yeah.
Well, you did say it's a hot button topic.
It is.
So
it really is.
I'm hoping the homie, like I said, I know Devin for a minute, but the guys at Walker Talk at the guns mental health, I hope they got, I guess they got a plan together.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Yeah,
And then anxiety doesn't prohibit having anxiety.
Right.
Doesn't prohibit you from having a firearm.
Right.
You know.
So let me ask you this.
PTSD doesn't prohibit you. You know?
Right.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. That was like I said, it was cool, man. Event. I got to talk to some people and explain what I was doing about Erica's big day. So it was a dope event. So let me ask you this: you teach a lot of women, right? I mean, so in your CPL class, is it a variety of men and women?
I have done both. I have.
Who is the hardest one to teach?
From the ladies' perspective.
From a lady's perspective, everything. Everything is from a lady's perspective.
Everything today, we want you as the female lady instructor's perspective.
I personally love newbies. I love people who have never touched a gun in their life because I have zero bad habits to go in and pull out before I can teach them appropriately, right? You'll have women who've been to the gun range with their boyfriend, Pookie or Ray Ray, who carries his gun in a Crown Royal bag, right? And no offense, y'all. I don't drink Crown Royal. But anyway, you'll have those women who'll come to CPL class and they'll say, well, yeah, I know how to shoot a gun. Ray Ray taught me, right? And, Ray Ray's shooting like he's out of Boys in the Hood, gun cocked to the side, all of it. Right? I'm joking. But, or even if
I
you
know
have,
what you mean.
or, you know what I'm getting to. Or even if you had a guys who've been carrying guns, in our community for their whole life, but they've never received proper instruction.
Right.
Those people, to me, are the hardest people to teach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go to the range with my boyfriend, and then sometimes you see women at the range with their boyfriend.
It's so funny.
It's so funny.
So funny.
And then my wife be like, "You so just I'm like, "No, baby, I'm not. Just relax yourself. We here to work." But then you get the boyfriend behind the girl. She's like, "Do it like this, do it like," and I see watch him shoot, and I'm like,
You shouldn't be teaching.
You shouldn't be speaking at all.
As a woman, I probably have a little more freedom than you do. So I have inserted myself into those situations before where I see the boyfriend teaching the girlfriend something, and I'll step over and I'm like, hey, sir, no disrespect. I'm an instructor. I see what you're trying to do here. Can I help her out? Just a little bit. And they're usually really receptive.
Do the dudes look at you sideways like you can't teach them nothing?
The guy is usually receptive. I think it may be because I'm a girl, and I put it real soft and sweet.
You do. Let me say this. You seem like the person that can cuss you out smiling, and then like, did she just cuss me out?
See that.
Do I gotta do what she just told me to do?
I can see that.
Look, every time I'm looking, like she ain't gonna, go that level, but she just gonna cuss you out with a smile. That's a certain technique. Like you just people, you just don't
being angry without being angry, and
fighting without fighting.
It's called the art of finesse. No.
Right.
Amen.
You know what, man? I think for me it's the same thing. Even as a man instructing women, I love newbies. Period, like you said.
Yeah, I love newbies.
'Cause it's like you get them fresh.
Yep.
They don't know nothing, and you can just pour all the knowledge into them.
They had the best targets.
The best targets.
They only gonna do what you told them.
But it still also be the ones that's focused. Like the last event. We may or may not get to it, but the last event. No, 2 events ago, I should say, because I didn't do this past one. That's literally what happened. Like I'll never forget the one in particular I had. She was super nervous. She was clutching her purse, cross body to her. She was looking real nervous and real. Okay, just take a breath, relax. Whoop whoop. Long story short, she let off 2 rounds. They was dead center. They was cool shots. I'm like, you doing good. She put the gun down and was like, can I go to the bathroom real quick? Like, cool. She go to the bathroom. And, she was taking so long, though. I'm like,
is she coming back?
Is she coming back? I'm like, this fast, I had to go boo-boo. I'm like, is she coming back? And I'm like, she ain't coming back. She was too nervous. She came back, though. She came back, and, like, when I tell you her target was like, it was like one of us shooting. You know what I'm saying? She was
Wow.
like, boo, 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 boo. She wasn't, squeezed, but I'm just saying everything was A1. She go outside and everybody's looking at her target like, you did this? This your first time? This, everybody was like, this.
Yeah.
And I was taking a break then.
Mm-hmm.
So I was outside. And she was actually my second student that was like that.
Wow.
So they asked her, who was your instructor? Who taught you? She turned around and pointed. Him?
He did
They
it.
telling me, come on over here. And I'm the humble dude with it. You know what I'm saying? I can teach her. I can teach you and show you how to do. But I'm
It's up
just
to you to actually
it's
do it.
up to you to actually perform the action and do it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like I like my I won't say famous quote, but like my quote, like we talked about before, the book part, I can teach a monkey that as long as it's listening.
Exactly.
It's the actual, shooting part that I love where, my instructing comes in to get you together for that. And it was like people were trying to say, man, that's kudos to the instructor too. And I'm like, nah, I may have showed her, but she did it
She
though.
did it.
You know what I'm saying? She shot them shots in the jump. She was the one in the gym shooting. I just fed her the ball,
Right.
So, but that's you get that more so with the fresh faces than you
Yeah.
do the people
And
that
she
are.
felt so accomplished in
Yes.
that moment. I'm
Yes.
sure she did. I love
Yes.
those faces. That's
Yes.
what, for me, that event is all
Oh,
about.
dude,
you
we
know?
was like pandemic, still wearing the mask stuff, and she
Yeah.
instead of the handshake, she hopped up and gave me a hug and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got you, you cool. So,
But
like you
she
said, you knew
peeped
what it meant to her.
at the same time. She peeped your energy and
Yeah.
what you was giving
Yeah.
off. Like, hey, he really here
Yeah.
to help me get better. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
tell people it's not a sprint. It's a marathon when you're
Right.
shooting.
Right.
Like, you can't just come in there and spend 2 or 3 hours with me and think we gonna
Right.
be. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
You're going to be John Wick.
John Wick.
Right.
Let
Because I ain't John Wick. I tell people I'm still a student myself.
That's
So right, let me work on the mental aspect of you understanding that you got to defend yourself.
Yep.
After that, after you can say, "Look, I got to defend myself," we can all this other stuff, getting that gun up and out on the body. That's second.
That's
but if you can
secondary.
mentally comprehend or process, I got to defend myself,
Mm-hmm.
then we got to start. So that's just
Mhm.
compliment to you, man. So like in your classes, what are some misconceptions that people get as far as talking to you
Well,
about women and firearms?
well,
Tanisha.
usually, a lot of men have a perception. Well, I think the culture is changing a little now, right?
Because women are out there on the
I'm like,
forefront with it
it's
now.
definitely changing now. 10, 12 years ago, when I first came along, it wasn't as prevalent for women. There weren't as many women
Mhm.
sitting in this seat,
Mhm.
In fact, I told you before, I became an instructor by accident, right?
Right.
I did not plan it. There once was a time, tell you a quick story, there once was a time that I was terrified of guns, right?
Mm.
When I say terrified, I mean terrified. Oh my God, terrified, right?
Mm.
Didn't grow up that way. I grew up with a military dad. Guns were always around the house, things of that nature. Dad said he has a family to protect and he needs to be able to do so, right? So I didn't grow up afraid of guns. But then life happens. So when I
Right.
was 17, told you I'm an open book. So when I was 17, I was kidnapped, robbed, and raped at gunpoint
Mm.
while I was still a virgin
Mm.
by 2 strangers I never laid eyes on, right?
Mm.
When you get a gun shoved this close to your face,
Right.
it kind of changes things
Changes
a
your-
little bit
your
for
view on
you,
a lot of
right?
things,
Yeah,
yeah.
it kind of changes stuff a little bit.
Mm.
Fortunately, a few days later, those guys were arrested. They went to prison. They were serial rapists, raped 6 girls, shot
Still.
another girl in the arm. Long story,
Still.
but yeah, they went to prison. So, but I'm still here, and
That's what's up.
I'm good,
Yeah,
right?
Give her.
And you get there for that.
like I'm good,
Right.
right?
Right.
So, all right, a few years later, sometime later, right? So I managed a restaurant while I went to school.
Mm.
4:00 in the morning, some guys come in the store. Don't know how they got in to this day. I can't tell you how they got in. I look up and there's a guy as
Mm.
close to me as you are, and he's got a gun. He's like, "Look, B, I don't want to hurt. I'm the manager. He want me, right?
Mm.
Look, B, I don't want to hurt nobody. I just want the money, right?" I'm thinking it's a joke initially until I realize, whoa, he's got a big gun across his chest and
Mm.
he's got a stocking over his face. I said, quit, because I was going to say quit
Mhm.
F and play it, right? Until I realized this, no, I'm about to F around and find out, right?
Right. He's
Hey,
serious.
back then that was a
Serious.
quote. They didn't even know it was a quote.
Right.
So whatever. So I get a guy the money. Even they put us in the freezer. They go on about their business. But that's my second scary
Mhm.
gun incident, right? Now I'm afraid of guns, right? I went through the
Mhm.
whole PTSD thing, this early
Mhm.
20s, 21 or so, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I go through the whole PTSD thing, right? I wouldn't even go to children's birthday parties in my family. Little cousins have birthday parties. I'm not coming because they have balloons. And what do
If they
kids
pop,
do? They
yep.
pop the balloons. I hear a balloon pop, I'm had nightmares for the next week, right?
Yep.
Nobody ever pulled the trigger at me, but for some reason
Right.
I had the same
It's
dream
that
where it's
association.
like the gun is here, the flash happens, I hear the
Mhm.
bang, and then I wake up, my heart is racing, that kind of stuff.
Right.
Right? I went through the whole shebang, the anxiety, all of it. So,
Mhm.
all right. When I was early 30s, right? I say this is a real irrational fear I have right here. I'm scared of an inanimate object that I know can't do anything to me unless
Mhm.
I make it do something, right?
Mhm.
So okay. So I said, I'm gonna take a CPL class so I can get over this fear. I just want somebody there to teach me, whatever, so that
Right.
if I freak out,
Right.
there's a person there.
Right.
That's how it started. So I took a CPL class with a guy named Rick Ector, right? I always call myself a Rick Ector production, and in about 2 minutes, you'll understand why.
Got you.
I took a CPL class, right? And it was cool, right? I
Mhm.
was real good with the classroom part. Oh, I
Mhm.
love that, right? We
Right.
go to the gun range. I'm like, can I shoot last? Because I'm scared, right?
Right.
All right, whatever. Long story short, I shoot. Didn't shoot bad at all. I still got pictures of that target. I'll show it to you after the show, right?
There you go.
And I kept that target
Oh, yeah.
forever.
Oh,
When I
yeah.
first started shooting, true story, when I first started shooting, I used to keep my targets,
Mhm.
date them, give them a name, write down how many rounds were fired and
Mhm.
what kind of gun I was using so that
Mhm.
I could watch my progression,
There you
right?
go.
You collecting all that data.
Hey, I don't want to interrupt the story, but just for everybody listening, that's how you supposed to do to basically make way that you can get yourself together. I'm so excited about that. I can't even talk about just hearing that. Like, oh my God, somebody. But you
I
do.
did.
She
now,
doing
but-
something I don't even do.
I did.
No. I used
don't
to.
do it anymore. I did back then.
Back then I used to do. I didn't go as far as labeling, but I will put the caliber
Yeah.
and the shots and stuff like that. But it's a lot of people out here that they really need to do just that to
Yeah.
get more acquainted with themselves and their gun.
And I
Go ahead.
named them.
It's
I
for
really
for
did. I
training
had
purposes,
one
yeah.
that was Joe the black guy because it was like the black target with a 987. I had Sam. It was an acronym for shot ASSMF, right?
Gotcha.
Like I literally named my targets.
Wow. Sam. So okay, what does Sam stand for again, please? I gotta hear this.
It was shot ASS, and the M was for MF.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah, that part. So true story. So
Everybody heard
Love
that.
it. Love
people
it.
would come to my house and they go like, "What's up with all these targets?" on?" Like, see, y'all wouldn't understand. Just enjoy
Right,
everything else, just ignore that.
Right. Never mind. Instead of painting and pictures, I got targets up here. But
So I took the CPO class and these other targets came because I would still go back for shooting lessons, one-on-one shooting lessons with Rick, right?
I've had students like that.
I
Love
am
it.
a person who, if I'm going to do something, and this is the part about training that I
Do
love,
it.
right? If I'm going to do something, I want to know everything there is to know
Mhm.
about it. I don't care what it is, right? So I kept shooting. I want to know what all the little internal parts of the gun are. How do they work? Why do they do the things they do, right?
Mhm.
Rick had an event coming up. See, Rick is a very self-serving dude, by the way.
You wanted that knowledge. That's how I got into it.
He
More
could
knowledge.
see that I was that person. So he
Mhm.
said, "Hey, I got a range safety officer class coming up. I think you should take my course, right?"
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Okay, fine." He said, "Who better than you? You're really, really safe. You pay attention, blah, blah, blah. You care about safety. You should take this course." This is like some time down the road from the CPL class. Not that much time, maybe 8 months, right?
Okay.
So I go and I take the range safety officer course. At the end of the range safety officer course, he says, "Yeah, I got this women's shooting event in like 2 weeks. I'm gonna need you to come help out there."
I'm gonna need you.
So
Hit
the
you with the setup like,
reason-
hey, so you good? Let me get
Overplay
you
for the
Yeah,
underplay.
let me get you
Right.
certified. Hey, matter of fact, come on out, help
Come
with
on
this,
over here, help out. Exactly.
Hey.
Okay,
So I was
but it was worth it though. That's
I was an RSO, right?
Okay.
So I go help at the women's event. Time goes on, time goes by. Well, then like a year, I was getting instructor certs and basic pistol certs for instruction.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because that's the way it was for me. So that's
Mhm.
like the way that journey kind of went. So it was purely accidental. I just didn't want to be scared anymore, and then I became an
So how many? Let's go back to that. Well, you talk about that. How many women bring that baggage into some of your classes, like previous experience with trauma, with a
a
firearm?
lot, a lot. a lot. There are a lot of victims out here. You know, there are a lot of people, and it just depends on how you take and turn that victimhood.
Mm-hmm.
Because it took me some time, but eventually I said, "Wait a minute, I'm not gonna be that anymore.
Right.
I'd rather be
Right.
on the other side. Call me a survivor, don't
Right.
call me a victim."
There you
Right?
go. There you go.
But you get a lot of people who have been through experiences, and of course that comes in. How could it not?
Well, and I guess another question I was gonna ask, share some stories.
I gave
I'm-
them to you.
Right, you just gave him right off the rip.
Right.
off the rip.
She
But
came out the gate with the story.
she came out the gate with the story. But I guess I was doing some reading.
And otherwise, yeah.
I'm doing some readings and looking up statistics and different things, and they were saying that a lot of situations, with domestic violence, the women might have a firearm, but they're not trained enough or understand enough how to put it away or keep it stored. So they wind up becoming a victim, opposed to being the, you know what I'm saying, defending themselves because they're not familiar with the firearm.
Right.
The man usually going in, to maybe take the firearm from them and use it on them.
Right.
So I was just like, with training and experience, they say with training and experience, they can understand a little bit better how to protect themselves and, not be the victim, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Unfortunately, in DV situations, it's more to it than that for them. You got emotions and love and all of that kind of stuff involved. You really don't want to shoot the person you love, even if he dotted your eye and knocked out your teeth.
Did you see the lady that got kidnapped from the hospital, and it was from her ex-boyfriend? I didn't know. Once I read into it, it was from her ex-boyfriend, so I was just like, he had what was your thoughts when you seen him, trying to do, put you in the car, or because I guess he kidnapped her in her own car,
Yeah.
forced his way in on the driver's side, and I guess pushed her to the back or whatever.
He pushed her over.
Pushed
her
to the
over.
passenger side,
So I was saying what was that's a teaching moment. Don't give up. You know what I'm saying? In that situation, your ex-boyfriend, he's probably gonna do something bad because you probably had other experiences
She
with him.
had known that had been, from what I understand, that had been an ongoing situation.
Right.
If she
That's
had
what I was
broken
gonna
up
say.
with him.
Yeah.
The guy had been taking gifts and things, dropping them on her porch.
Right.
All these kind of things had been going on leading up to that incident. So it didn't start in that moment. She had even gotten to a place where she would leave the gifts on the porch to let him know, I don't want it.
Right.
I'm done.
And then to add to that too, apparently this wasn't his first rodeo because
Exactly.
there was another unsolved murder
from 10, 11 years ago.
Right, from 2010 or 2011 or something like that. That
an ex-girlfriend
that more than likely was him, and it was the same situation. The ex-girlfriend
disappeared.
Same kind of thing.
They've
disappeared.
never found her.
Matter
of fact, she was the mother of one of his kids.
I think they did find her because that's how they know that to link him to it though.
She's missing.
So she's still missing.
She's still missing.
But still, it was the same thing, and they're trying to make sure they get him on that one as well.
She's missing.
Yeah.
She was the mother of one of his child and pregnant with a second child, and she disappeared.
And so part of me wants to do this or wants to say this, but I can't say. I'm saying this, but I'm saying it loosely. It's just a thought that comes through when you hear stuff like that. I wonder. I'll say it that way. Was she on her phone and not paying attention to her surroundings to not even see this dude? Because I say that because I know that literally that's a problem, and we talk about this in class. That's a problem for a lot of people, not just women, but people. Period. The distractions and the severe distraction of what our phone does, and people literally walking around like this and not really seeing or paying attention to nothing else. I'm not saying could that have prevented, because I've also heard people. I guess someone, my wife was telling me, she looked at, I don't know if it was on Facebook, Instagram, or what. A lot of people were saying something about having a CPL and why couldn't she, she should have had her gun and blah 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 blah. So there's two things wrong. There's two things right and wrong with that. One, if she's not paying attention, that's not gonna make a difference at all.
Matter.
Number two, yes, she works in the she's coming from medical field and working at the hospital, and you can't have a firearm at the hospital. Technically, you can't have it in the parking lot either. But like I told my wife in that instance as well, I don't know one medical system, one anything out here that's an entity that literally, even though you have that forbidden, so we don't allow firearms in the parking lot, that if she did have her weapon and she defended herself at that moment and put him down, if they was gonna do anything to her, she wouldn't have lost her job. She'd have been okay. and everything would have went status quo, everything else, and they still would have had that thing. But you know why? Because you know how bad that makes you look as an
Worst
entity.
case scenario, they would have fired her. But so
She'd have been
what?
alive.
And that's what I'm saying.
So what?
That's what I'm saying. They wouldn't even have done that because the optics of how that looks for you as the company, hospital, whatever that. So wait a minute. You may have had this law in place because, again, like I tell people, the laws have a soft spot for women and babies, flat out. And then let that happen, and she defended herself against that man with that history and this so forth. Man, her lawyers would have had a field day with them.
And I was talking to my wife about it. So, like, I was just like, arm everybody, get everybody CPL license, train everybody,
Right.
Because I'm just like, okay, so she couldn't take the firearm into the hospital, but what if she could have just put it in a locker down in the security office so they'll know, you know what I'm saying? Like, you check your gun in when you go to work, and then you check your gun out when you walk into the parking lot. Come on, man. Like, come on.
I agree with those types of measures, but again, we talking about private entities.
We talking about the parking lot. It wasn't even look like it was.
I agree, but
they
I'm
had
saying
it on camera too.
Yeah.
They seen it. Yeah. So like, where the security?
That was my other thing with it. Where was security? Like, why are we having these things? Because this isn't the first time that something has happened. Period. At this particular DMC's parking structures and stuff. I got a personal experience where I had a cousin that it was on the news and everything. She died in the parking lot from literally carbon monoxide poisoning because she had something was messed up with her tailpipe. But again, where was security just driving around, period, to not see that it's a car just kind of sitting here that's been sitting here, and why are they just sitting here with a young woman and her baby just literally sitting here for hours? Now it was because she was helping her mom with a medical visit and so forth. So, but still, like, where was security, period? Like, because literally by the time her husband got down there, figured out what happened, and was able to get to it, it had actually been hours.
Yeah, it was too late by then.
Yeah, it had been hours past from the time. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it wasn't just like she had been sitting here waiting for her mom, and then boom, that happened. No. She had been sitting waiting for a while for my auntie, and it's like it took her husband to literally go searching y'all whole parking deck, 2 different decks to find, like, the security aspect, And I'm not salty in saying that because of that, but I'm just saying in general, like, you don't really see security running around through there for nothing like that.
And when they do, they're not looking for that.
They're not looking.
When they do, they're not looking for someone sitting in a car, because people can sit in their car. So that's not something that would have raised an alarm bell. Unfortunately, that's not something that would have been alarming.
But I mean, just in general, you know what I mean? Just to see what's what.
Where I work.
Yeah.
Where I work.
Yeah.
There's this whole rule, right? You can't take a gun into the building.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't have a gun in the parking structure or the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
Any of that property.
Mm-hmm.
And it was right. So, I don't understand that. Like, I get the building.
My question though is my employer gonna provide me a personal escort to work from home and back home from work? I mean, I'm just saying.
Right.
That's the question. Are you providing me secure transport back and forth? If the answer to that is no, not talking about myself personally, but if the answer for that is no, then what's in a person's car is their own business.
Right.
Hey, train everybody. Push it to the limit. Let's see what happens.
Hey, now a follow-up to a question previously as well. Being a lady instructor, instructing classes, and I'm big on, I don't care how I want to say this. I don't care how terrible you. I'm gonna just flat out say it like this. I don't care how terrible you are as an instructor. I would never openly say so and so's terrible. You know what I'm saying? It may be a conversation. It's a private conversation. And tell somebody how I feel about them. Like, yo, they do this, they don't do that. They don't. This is why they trash. But I never would openly, because to me that's hurting somebody else's, they think. You know what I'm saying? I'd never stop anybody from getting their money. I can show you why I'm better, and you should come to me instead, or come to KJ. Come, you know what I'm saying? But that's,
I don't have to put you down in order to
bring me or my people up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But loosely, how do you feel about female instructors giving bad information or using the whole, I'm saying this to be funny, but the whole hey girl and being real personable thing to sell? I don't want to say to sell the service, but yeah, to sell the service of CPL instruction. And I'm saying this because I've seen you instruct. I know how you get down. You know what I'm saying? And comparing you to how I've seen other female instructors do, you know what I'm saying, it's night and day. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna go ahead and let you get where I'm going.
I'm very anti that.
Yeah.
I really am. I'm very anti all of that. I can even tell you this much. When I had my logo design and I had my business cards done and my banners and all those things, right? I had a few rules. Don't mention anything about women. I don't want to see. I love pink. I don't want to see pink. You know, like period. I don't see anything wrong with saying I cater to women.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But when you go and you overdo it just to make it be a thing of
exactly,
why can't you just be a great instructor?
There we go.
Amen. Amen.
That's my thing right there. That's been my whole riff with, because we've seen some, and I'm sure you've seen, and you probably know who one of these people, particular people are. You probably know both if we could tell stories. But I saw one person's thing, and it was like, that's not it. I don't know how you really, you got the charcuterie board out for folks and all kind of, and it's, there's nothing wrong with snacks.
When the show is over, we'll have a conversation.
You know what I'm saying? I've seen, things in this, girl, if you want to do this and this how you, boom, boom, and they talking about a shotgun, but I'm like, this in a CPL class. So are you in essence loosely catching somebody that's going to think, shoot, she told me I should carry a shotgun, but you're talking about home defense. I get if it's in a home defense type of course, because some are, coupled together, but
totally different.
It's for them. It's basically you teaching a CPL course and you talking about this. That's okay, whatever. And then you got the other folks that I'm not even going there, man. We'll talk off show about.
You talking about carry the two firearms?
Yeah.
Make sure you don't carry a backup mag and
double pistola.
Yeah. And you're a lady, and it's already hard for ladies to carry firearms because of attire and all this. So yeah, that's what's out there. Yeah. And they getting paid to do it.
Getting paid.
I'm so confused right now. Are you serious? No.
Wait. You know what's funny? So we'll talk off air about this.
I've been a little off the loop, maybe.
We'll talk off air off this. And here, I just really realized the correlation between the two stories and the two different women I'm talking about. They both teach at the same place. One on one side of town and the other one on the other side of town.
Really?
Yes. Now, I don't know if they still do consistently, but yes. Yes.
I am all for... Let me be clear. I am all for women instructors.
Me too.
I am all for women empowering women. I really am. So
I am. I am too.
Definitely no shade there, right?
I mean, 10%. Yes.
I don't even see anything wrong. While I don't do it personally, I don't see anything wrong with marketing a class to women, because sometimes you have women who are more apprehensive or may not feel comfortable if they're in a room with men. So if they got an instructor that's a woman and everyone who's attending the class is a woman, then those women may feel, there are some women who are going to feel more comfortable with that. Yeah. So I'm cool with that.
I've done women's only classes, and even as a male instructor have had the most success with those. When those are the classes that fill up. It's just all women, and it's me and all women. But because, like you said, just in the crowd itself.
Well, especially in our community, in the black community,
right, that's what
black
I'm saying.
women are the fastest growing segment of gun owners, period, in the whole country. You know?
Right.
So we really are. So it's not a stretch, you know?
Right.
I'm just saying to market yourself as, this is what I do. I do women. Here, look at all my pink stuff. I ain't mad at you, but
I don't like the when they put in there like, they don't say it, but like, don't go to a all dominated, ego freezing zone.
Like
meaning,
ego,
don't go to build with men because you know how we gonna get. Don't you know what I'm saying? Like, just say, just come to my class. I'm a great instructor. Don't try to jump on us or jump on me and instructors and say you better than others.
Don't try to down me to bring you up.
Right. Don't try to down me to bring you up. So you know what I'm saying. Let me ask you this question. So, what do you say when you got a woman student, and then she be like, "Hey, my man is doing this and that, or he's violent, and I want to get the gun to chicky chicky bang banging."
We don't chicky chicky bang bang. We don't do that. That's first and foremost. We don't do that.
I got it on me. Got it on me. Yeah. But I get them like, well, I got it. I was like, listen, I want to
see. That sounds like premeditation to me, first and foremost.
Right.
And I
what
tell
you're
them that.
doing is confessing to a crime, and I don't want to be any part of that.
I say, okay, let's start over. So you want to take
Ryan? I'm good.
Right. Hey, and I tell them off the rip, like, now listen, you do realize when they call me as a character witness, as your instructor, I'm going to have to tell them everything we've talked about.
I look at my phone like, am I being pranked? Are they do I hear the click in the phone?
Right.
I'm like, listen, okay, let's slow down, let's back up. So you want to take my class because you want to be a responsible armed citizen. You know, let's talk about the safety. Let's talk about this. Now, if it's something outside of that, then you might want to go talk to his people. Go talk to somebody else, not me.
Right.
I'm just here to help you. You know,
I'm a great attorney who can give you some information that you may need. You know,
right? Saying like,
several of them.
I done had a couple of them, and I'm just like, and as a CPL instructor, we all both know, and some of the people, like, I'd be like, they call me, I'd be like, missed that call. Put it on vibrate. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, I was busy. I'm sorry, I was out of town. No, I'm sitting there like, nah, I'm not about to do this.
I can't do it.
You're not about to have my initials on something, and like, they call me as a character witness. Like, did you know Riri was gone? She told me I could. He told me I could. I'm just like, boo, no, I didn't.
Or the ones who say you told them to shoot to kill. It's like, no, I didn't.
No, I didn't.
I told you center of exposed mass in the 8.5 by 11 section in the middle of that person's torso if they're fully exposed. That's what I told. Now, is there a likelihood that that person may die? I mean, it could happen.
See, and that's what I tell them.
That's not what the plan was. The plan was you shot to stop the threat, the end, you know, and you stop shooting when the threat stopped.
I don't know if y'all just peeped that. She just flexed on y'all. If y'all really didn't know. Like I said, she kind of flexed. She kind of cussed you out without
she
really.
Hit you with the knowledge real quick.
I'm like, I'm learning something. It's like, hey, I just hit A-zone and call it what it is.
But that's because you a game shooter. You know what I'm saying? You come out, you know, competition.
She like, hey, bro, let me bad. I got that on video.
Right.
What the do that?
You know. That's gonna be a short little reel now with the, you know, what you.
We gonna be like this and a shooting video.
But see, and the way I jazz that up is the same way. When people, I don't want to kill nobody. I said, look, we not teaching you to kill. We teach you to stop a threat.
Yeah.
It just so happens that if you're good enough at what you do, you know, that person may expire. You know, their life may expire. I said, and the way I put it to folks is this, and they get it and they laugh their ass off. They go, I tell them, I said, man, it's the difference in this. I said, Mike Tyson is a champion boxer, right? Mm-hmm. Mike Tyson's hands are registered as weapons.
Yeah.
I say, I can box. I used to kickbox. You know, I used to train with my man, you know, woo. I said, if somebody break in my house, it's gonna be a problem because I'm giving them hands, but they probably just gonna hurt. Mm-hmm. Difference is they go to Mike Tyson to do this. Mike gonna defend himself, but it's a good chance they made it expire because they ran up on Mike. You know, the difference between a bruised rib with me versus like cracked ribs, broke sternum, you know, jaw. You know what I'm saying?
Ding, where the bell? Where the guy? Hey, just fight over.
People would be like, ha ha. I'm like, but that's for real. I said, untrained shooter, trained shooter. I said, when it comes to shooting, I said, right now y'all starting off, y'all like, well, I said, me as the boxer, y'all shooting and you're boom, 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 boom. Mike Tyson, boom, 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 boom. You know, that's not my intent. But then when I hit where my center mass, like you said, I put 4 or 5 shots to the sides like this.
Wait a minute. How many times I supposed to shoot him?
Right.
How many times I supposed to shoot?
And the answer that I always give is you shoot until they stop doing whatever it was that they were doing.
Okay, so that 1, 2.
And until they stop, I don't care if it's 1 or 15. When they stop, 15 is going to be real hard to explain
real
away.
Real hard. But
at whatever point they stop doing whatever it was that they were doing that made you start shooting, that's when you stop shooting.
Wait a minute. What if my sister called me and she getting beat up by her boyfriend? I come over there and what? No.
Now you know that happened, right?
Yeah. It happens all the time.
I mean, it happens all the time, but it was shoot. I'm trying to think. Was that here?
That happened in the city of Detroit, where a girl called
she called her brothers
over,
yes,
and the brother ended up.
Did you hear about
dead.
that?
The brother is the one who ended up
dead. So
her boyfriend,
her and her dude, they stay. It was actually his house.
I'm not gonna say I know anything about what you're talking about.
It was a news story.
Okay, so
this was public information.
So off air type of. But still, just for everybody else, it was his house. She was at his house. They was arguing, beefing, whatever, and she decided she was going. I'm calling my brothers to come kick your ass, type of thing, because again, it's his house. He's a legally licensed and armed firearm. And I don't know if he had a CPO, but I know it's his house. He had legal guns. They literally ran up in dude's house, her brothers, on some old "what you doing to my sister" type of stuff. And the sister it wasn't even like he was for real whooping her tail. She was lying about that. Dog, like my man, what DJ Quick say, first run up, first down type.
Soon as straight through the door.
As soon as he boom, 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 because he actually kicked the door in.
Yeah.
And as soon as he took that first step,
that was it.
So we talked.
So she got her brother killed on some dumb
Right.
stuff. I'm just saying.
Right.
I didn't say that publicly. Strike that from the record. Can we?
Okay.
No. Don't strike it. I said it. If you heard and I'm talking and I said it.
Rich homie Quan. So we I mean that's
humor.
Hey, that was like how many fake accusations or stuff that you hear about when they say they cry wolf, but it ain't really. That's what it is.
All the time.
Like women, they cry like, oh, this dude doing something to me, woo woo woo, but she could be the man. Get the message.
She's the aggressor.
Man, she's the aggressor.
Sometimes she's the aggressor.
But sometimes it ain't gonna look like I'm 2'6", 250.
Mm-hmm.
She 120. They gonna look at me like, you let her whoop you like that?
Right. Like, yeah, because I'm not trying to be in jail with y'all.
I'm not
sometimes, and I deal with this at work frequently. Sometimes we got a lot of brothers now who have wisened up, who realize that 911 works both ways.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it's not a joke.
It's not a joke, right?
I tell folks, look, it's whoever make that first call, dog. You better get through that phone. Have 911 on already.
You'll get guys now who will call 911 and will say, she's abusing me, right? Like, she hit me.
Yeah, but when they respond to that, what they gonna say to Blood? Like, come on.
I don't know what necessarily face-to-face they'll say to Blood, but here's what I can tell you. Show me a route to the DDC with one female arrestee. So she's going to jail.
Right.
That's what matters. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what matters. You got the girl who's going to jail because fortunately that brother didn't respond in kind and hit her, giving her the opportunity to call the police and say, oh, he abused me, when she had smacked him up, slapped him up, called his mama all kinds of dirty names, trapped him in the house when he said, just let me go, I'm trying to leave, but she blocks the door, So fortunately you have guys who are now, and I'm not saying anything against women, right? But fortunately you have men now who are understanding that, that is a game that some women, not all, I won't even say all women, but some women do play that game. And it's like, you got brothers who get domestic violence charges when they weren't the aggressor. It was done to them,
Right.
So
then they got to fight it in court, and that's a whole.
And then now he's prohibited from having a gun for the rest of his life. When
he on a list, all kind of stuff.
When Shanae was the one who, like, saying,
hey,
or Becky, whatever.
So look, talk about a little bit of my thing with the women's training class, and this is just me. I was just like, they was pushing a lot of women through those classes.
Are you talking about the women's free shooting event?
Yeah, the women's free shooting event. I'm sorry, the women's free shooting event. And I'm just like, were they really getting a good experience about a firearm, or they were just pushing, they were just trying to get as many people in to get the numbers up?
All right, so let's address that.
So I'm going to let you address that, and then I'm going to go from a perspective of a recent instructor at an event.
I'm asking a question.
Let's
I did it twice. I mean, I was there. I don't know if I was there, but I didn't remember seeing you there.
Probably not.
I did it twice.
Let's delve into that. The whole purpose behind a women's shooting event is not to give you a CPL class. It's not to have you leave here as a proficient shooter. Who that class is designed for are women who may not have a bunch of experience or any experience at all, who may be inquisitive or inquiring or curious about guns. It's a thing where, you know how you go to the pool
newbie before they're the newbie.
You know how you go to the pool and you say, let me just dip my toe in the water to see what this water feels like. It may be too cold. I may not want to be in there, right? That's what the women's shooting event is. It's just to give them some exposure. The first thing we do is we teach them all the safe gun handling rules. I typically handle that in the classroom, right? So we teach them that. We teach them safe storage things. I don't know why we have to go through safe storage, because we not storing guns. We just talking, right? But neither here nor there. it's only like a crash course, just an introductory thing. And that's the reason we usually allot like 20 rounds. We're not trying to get you proficient.
Right.
If you're looking to become proficient and well trained and all the rest of that, right? We got 100 instructors here. Take your pick. Go to somebody, get some business cards. You can call them later and get that in-depth instruction that you may be looking for. It's not designed to get them John Wick ready in those 20 minutes.
I got a question. I got one question.
Go ahead.
Then you can go.
So just to add to that, I'm glad you said that like that. Yeah. Because literally that's what I was doing. I already knew. I brought a stack of cards. Every time somebody was done, hey,
bring your business
you did
cards.
good. Hey,
bring your cards.
You want to continue or do or get your CPL.
Space,
yeah. Right. I'm hitting them with them. Hey, holla at me, But I can say from the one that I did that I was able to do, and I want to do this one this year if I can.
You better.
That's my plan. But like you say, how life happens, but from what I can say is this: that was my goal. That I didn't want to short nobody.
Yeah.
I knew for a fact of what it was, like you just said, how she described it. So I'm not going the whole class route. She took care of most of that. Well, she had to talk in class. That's why, like the one I did, I came early. You know what I'm saying? I think I actually was before the first class of shooters actually got to the range part.
So you were in the room. You sat in the room and saw what goes on.
I sat in the back with Will and somebody else was there too. Because it wasn't one at Top Gun. It was at Recoil. Mm-hmm. And I literally sat there, and that's why I said I've seen you teach, because I sat in the back and watched her do, before I went off and saw how the rest of it was laid. And how
you heard my story about how bacon grease.
Oh yeah, love it. That's
some old gems she gave.
Oh yeah, but that's why. So, total quick sidebar. That's why when we got to politic and he said he wanted to have a black female instructor on. At first, I was like racking my brain, like I don't know if I know anybody that I would want to promote and say that I trust their info and blah blah blah.
It's bad because
it went for a while. This was like a month. We was like both racking our brain, like who can we? Well, I guess we can do old girl, and if we maybe we can reach out and blah blah blah. And then literally, it hit me like, wait a minute, I did the ladies shoot, and then at the Christmas party. Dang, I can't think of her name right now. Let me reach out to Will. I reached out to Will Lucas. Shout out to Will. Yeah. And I'm like, Will.
I love Will.
That's my man. He silly dude. That's my guy. I'm like,
Will.
I'm like, what's old girl's name? That was at the thing. Oh, you talking about Tanisha? Yes, that's her. I need her info. I need to blah. And then that's how we got to this. I'm like,
I give you the bacon
know one person.
No,
I got one person. But I can say from a lot of the other instructors that I saw there though, that was their aim as well. There's a couple that may not be, I don't want to say on.
Hold on. I'm gonna ask this question, and it's probably going to what you about to say.
Okay.
Well, I got two questions. Well, so do y'all do y'all vet the instructors that y'all got coming in? That was my question. Let me ask a question.
I'm not even gonna say what I was saying.
I'm supposed to be asking questions here. He's supposed to be like the co-host, but he's taking over the conversation.
Because you going right where I was gonna go. So yeah, go ahead. I'm even gonna
taking over the conversation. Let me ask some important questions so people can see me on my show. You dig? So do y'all vet?
Shots fired. No.
Hey, this what happened when you been off the game. We trying to talk. We've been on the podcast.
We kicking it. Right.
So I'm kicking it.
So do y'all vet? So I went to one and my homies called me and they're like, man, what you doing? I was like, I ain't doing nothing, chilling. Hey man, we need you up here. He's like, man, cause it's not. We at this we at the class, the women shoot. But we need some quality instructors. So the people that call me, like I know them, you know what I'm saying? So when they call me, I know it's like 100. So do y'all vet the instructor? Did y'all vet the instructor?
So
do y'all vet the instructors?
Instructors come to us. The event has gotten larger now than it was back in the day. So it used to be a bunch of instructors who were all trained for the most part by Rick, or people that he had known and worked with for the years, right? As the event has become larger and larger, then we do reach out to trusted sources, such as the Will Lucas, who produces instructors, right? Will Lucas is an instructor producer, right?
Did you meet KD?
Who is KD?
Kevin Dixie.
Kevin Dixie. Oh, I love me some Kevin Dixie. You dropped KD like I was just in St. Louis. I just ran out of time. I didn't have time.
You didn't holler at him?
I didn't have time to holler at him, but I'm like, I was just in St. Louis.
Because
like
he was here last year, right?
Year before.
Okay.
He didn't come last year. He was here in 21.
Okay.
Yeah. But so we reach out to trusted sources such as like your Will Lucas, right? And they will give us recommendations. Here's the deal. I trust Will Lucas tremendously. If Will Lucas says, here's Ryan, and he's a quality instructor, I know what Will Lucas produces, so I'm going to take Will Lucas' word that because you've been vetted by a trusted source, right? Okay, so with that being said, for the most part, that's kind of how that goes. You do have some other instructors. Here's the deal. All instructors teach differently. My way of teaching may be different than your way of teaching. Doesn't mean my way of teaching is bad. It's just different than your way of teaching. And I see the look on your face. I see the look on your face. It's all good. It's all good because I think internally, I'm probably one of the most judgmental instructors out here, right? I see all kinds of stuff and I go, oh, I wish they wouldn't do that, right? Like, oh, I can't stand it, right? But I also have to remind myself, okay, wait, they're not teaching them to do something that's going to get themselves harmed. They're not teaching them to do something that's going to unintentionally or inadvertently harm somebody else. So I kind of have to stay and keep my mouth shut because it's just different than my way of teaching. Doesn't make, as long as it's not unsafe, you know, as long as they aren't teaching something that's unsafe and it's in the direction that we're trying to get to.
Downrange, so long as they keep it down.
Okay, I didn't mean it that way, but yes, that works too. It's a double entendre there. Yeah, as long as it's in the direction that we're trying to get it into, that's fine. Because remember this much, we only doing 20 rounds. We're not giving you a piece of paper saying, hey, go on over to your county clerk's office and get you a license. That's not what you're leaving here with, right?
Like you said, it's the toe in the water thing.
Yeah, so, it's just the toe in the water. So, and additionally, and I don't know when you came. I don't even know if you came to where I was, but
when I came, I walked right in. He gave me some glasses and some earplugs.
He was probably a Top Gun.
I was at Top Gun.
But that's because you came with someone that they actually trusted. You were recommended, I guess, or came in under somebody else who was already there.
Yeah.
Don't look at me sideways.
My boy's at ATEI. Doug,
okay, well, that's Doug Holloway. Like Doug, I love me some Doug too. Doug isn't gonna bring garbage, so you're not gonna question Doug Holloway's judgment on somebody that he says. And so when you ask that question, I would never question Doug Holloway. If Douglas Holloway tells me this person is good to go, guess what? That person good to go because I trust Douglas that way, right? He ain't gonna lie to me, right? It's a few people, probably about a handful of them, who could tell me that. And I would trust them. Now, that don't mean I'm going to let you hold a gun in your hand and I turn my back to you. But, I mean, there are only like 2 people on the planet I do that with. But if Doug say you're good to go, then for us, yeah, you're good to go.
Okay. Like, hey, that was that the question?
The question was, are people vetted?
So
he was about to ask.
No. Your question was more or less what I was about to say, but just in the question form. So that's why I said, nope, I'm not even going to say it. Because when you said, I'm probably going, we read each other right then, you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, nah, go ahead. Because I was going to say literally the same thing. Like, I've seen a couple instructors that, like you said,
everybody's technique in teaching.
They're okay,
we do have
but
to remember that everybody's method of teaching is different. You know, it may not look like my method of teaching. It may not look like the way that I'm comfortable with that I would have done it. But I'm Tanisha. Tanisha's gonna do things the way Tanisha does it repetitively every single time without questioning, without fail. That's how I move and operate. Ryan is gonna do the things the way that Ryan does them every single time. Right? Okay. Well, if we had Susie Q sitting there, Susie Q instructor sitting there, Susie's not going to do it the way Ryan's going to do it. She's not going to do it the way KJ is going to do it. She ain't going to do it the way Tanisha do it. But as long as Susie Q ain't teaching somebody to kill themselves or somebody else, and, you know, she's teaching about cross thumbs and things of that nature because I don't want someone hurt. You know, I'm cool, right? Here's what I can tell you. For an absolute fact, this year will be the 12th year for the event. We've never had a person lead that event with even so much as a cut thumb. So, obviously, Mr. Are You Vetting? Obviously, we doing something right. You know?
I ain't judging. I ain't
That's
judging.
what's up.
I was just questioning.
We have an impeccable safety record.
So look.
We had a lady who had a panic attack one time. That was about it.
That's cool.
You know?
You ready to wrap it up with the rapid fire?
No, he want to still talk to me because I got time today. No, I'm joking.
I'm about to say, well, really, you said you don't. So.
I'm joking.
Well, I guess she brought in.
We definitely gonna have you back though.
Definitely that. Yeah, I want to do the rapid fire. I'm probably gonna have to go to the dome, but I wanted to talk about the sweater. This is a little quick about the sweater you got on because this is a little plug for him because I thought it was cool. Even though I ain't even met him, he can come on the show for sure.
Yeah.
What he stand for?
I will make sure I contact you all. I'll put everybody in contact. So the shirt that I'm wearing, I got them in all different colors, right? Because I support my people, right?
That's what's up.
And they not cheap either. Like
Right.
I want to pay $25 for a hoodie. Hoodies don't cost $25, right?
There you go.
Yeah. So Save Detroit stands for Stopping All Violence Everywhere, right? It was started by a guy named John Williams. He's a native Detroiter, been here his whole entire life, right? He and his wife, Starlet Williams, are like some amazing people. It's an organization, a community organization that supports children, especially those of lesser means, right? So they do like bike giveaways and backpack giveaways when the kids go back to school. He also coaches youth basketball, teaches conflict resolution and de-escalation techniques and all of this stuff to hopefully keep our young people from killing each other unnecessarily. It's a beautiful program. They got a 5K coming up in June. A lot of people are behind it. I did hear that. I heard DPD is going to be, the Detroit Police Department is going to some kind of way get involved in it. I certainly hope so because it's definitely a worthy cause. If anybody's interested, you can find Save Detroit on Facebook and I'm pretty sure Instagram and other places. But
Well, before we leave, I need
be
to
on the lookout for it.
Get that information and write it down.
We'll get that in a minute.
So we do a little rapid fire. You ain't got time to think about it. It's just right off the dome. Okay.
Y'all has been right off the dome. Y'all been hitting me.
We've been freestyling.
We're doing that because y'all been hitting me with bullets since I sat down.
Hey, that's what we do.
That's what we do,
I kind of try to prepare for it.
I'm ready for it though.
Okay. So
rapid fire in the rap. Let's get it.
Rapid fire. So I ask you a question. You just gotta go with it.
All right.
So we're gonna go Smith & Wesson or Glock.
Glock.
AR or shotgun.
AR.
Rihanna or Beyonce.
Neither. Okay, wait. Rihanna.
Ford or Chevy.
Chevy.
Mm.
I drive a Tahoe in addition to my Maxima.
Wu-Tang or Bad Boys.
Huh?
You don't know Wu-Tang?
I know who Wu-Tang is. Bad Boys. Oh, Bad Boy Puffy now.
Yeah.
Definitely Bad Boy.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, for sure. All I know about Wu-Tang is cash rules everything around me.
Cream get the money.
I tell y'all.
Outside of that, I'm lost.
Well, just know Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to F.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I did know that. I didn't. Meth is cute too.
Wu-Tang is for the children, so you know.
Meth, let me say this. Shout out to Meth, man. He's doing a great job on Power, bro. As a lawyer,
Dog is a cold. He's a cold entertainer. I ain't even say just actor, but as an entertainer.
He's a talented brother.
He's talented. Like some people can make the jump to acting or whatever in a rap, but you still see the rap game on him. But him, like he doing he almost like oh, that dude dope. He doing it for sure. But he made the pivot and transition, man. So look, we about to get out of here. I want to thank Tanisha.
No more rapid fire. I got no more.
It's just a couple.
On,
it's just
give
a
me
couple
one more.
quick one.
Give me one.
I do. That was kind of fun.
Jordan or LeBron?
Jordan. I'm old people. Okay. So easy.
Isaiah or Allen Iverson?
Isaiah.
Ooh, that's what I'm talking about. My dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
My dog.
Okay. Isaiah.
Okay.
Not just because he was in Detroit, first.
Yeah, that's that guy.
Not only for that reason. I just think Iverson sucks, but.
Dang, I can't go that far with that. Hey, for real, time wise, because we don't want you to miss your job, your next appointment and engagement there. But we can sit here and do this all day. But yeah.
So like I said, I want to thank her for coming on the show. It was definitely dope. Did you have a good time?
I did. I had a ball.
Appreciate it. We appreciate you coming there. KJ
leaning forward on me. That's cool.
KJ breaking stuff over here. We gotta fix it later. It's all right. We'll get it together.
So, like I said, leave me your contact information, especially with the gentleman that does the
I got you.
You got me?
I got
Like,
you.
it was dope. I'm glad that you picked her. I mean, I'm glad that, you know what I'm saying, you reached out to her. She came on the show because she was definitely dope.
For sure.
She's fun to have. She's open book. She said some stuff I wouldn't,
For sure.
She was like, I'm an open book. She went left on this. I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
But again, and that's what it was, like really, really quick. Like I said, I saw how she taught, but then literally, like I said, at the Christmas party, literally later that year, we had a conversation.
Yeah, I busted up in the Christmas party late. I don't need food. I'm just here.
It was me, my brother-in-law. Lance, Dub was there, so we was all there because I hollered at Will, like, hey, can I bring my brother in? Yeah, bring him on. Because Will know me. I done a couple anyway, so we sitting there chilling in the room, and here she come, just, hey, what y'all doing? So we just literally just had a conversation for like 2 hours just about some of everything. And that's how I knew. I'm like, okay. When it finally clicked, it was like, I do know somebody. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But let me put this out there. We just did a giveaway. I gave away Vaultec safe. It was partnered up with Erica's Big Day, Uncoil Firearm and Range, and Pop Culture 223. So we gave away a safe, a Vaultec gun safe for safe gun storage. We all about responsible gun ownership.
Yes, sir.
Putting the gun up, keeping it safe away from prying eyes or kids just want to be busy. So we gave that away. It was dope. I did pick the winner, so just stay tuned. I will be divulging the winner here in a little bit.
It was me.
It was you? I wish I had two. I'd definitely give you one. So that's it from us. Look, this is what we is. So gang recognize gang.
Yes,
we
sir.
recognize you, so please recognize us. So that's Pop Culture 223.
I like that.
And we out.
We out. Peace.
Peace.